soldiers finally got out of Aurora's Rest, or what used to be Aurora's Rest. Thousands dead. Burned alive, crushed, clawed, mauled, eaten. Stampeded by their own people. An entire powerhouse city of refugees flees south because there is no other way. Many scatter through teleporters. Many fly through the air away from Final's Fletch, regardless of the mode of transport. A massive egress leaves the city. Dyer redirects your particular company to a city known as Allegory, one that he's visited before. Gives you a brief description of it, and there are those there who hunt and practice and are quite violent, but there's no glory or point in an easy kill. And thus he thinks the new people will be safe. He warns that you all probably not so much. Not necessarily that you will be targeted for death, but you will be targeted for sport. You enter into one of the massive pyramid-like structures that sit upon the top of various mountain peaks and spires. The gale coming in and landing inside of one of the pyramids. Not even barely taking up a speck of its real estate. And there are many, many as well. As you get off the ship, there is chaos. This is one of the places that people flee to. You're one of the earlier ones, but you were not the first. For the most part, those fleeing the city, those that could take the wounded women and children, those that were more desperate to get out for danger of their lives, went first. You all, being the capable individuals that you are, you were probably about a little after halfway mark. Because there wasn't a lot of threat to your immediate lives. So you stayed on a little longer to hold the line. As the line of fire stared at you from behind the melting city. In front of the melting city. Get off into this hangar, and it is a bustle and it is chaos. And there are people here who have clearly been working round the clock over the last 2 days, trying to get everything sorted. There is a brand new influx of people shoving out and pushing this large spaces population forward very drastically. You see a very overworked and tired-looking face with the sound of somebody who has no tolerance for ridiculousness left over. You see a man covered in armor, scars, and some sort of cybernetics running along the face, and especially over his ear. His entire ear seems to be cybernetic. All right. Come out quietly, stand in the line. I need some information from you as we try to digest everybody that's coming in off this ship. First of all, what is the name of the ship? Warden speaks up and says, "It's the Desperate Gale. We have been here once before, though not to this particular pyramid." Right, understood. He takes his clipboard, but it's a tablet kind of expanding out of a glove that he has, looking something up. Right, Desperate Gale. Okay, excellent. You've already been processed yourself, Big Blue. Got it, you won't have to retake the trial. Alright, everyone. Let me explain how things work here. 1, you will be examined medically. We will get you back on your feet. We do not take loafers around here. You will need to earn your weight. And for anybody that is unable to do so in the short term, we will give you a period that is to be determined of when you will need to start contributing or move on elsewhere. Our hospitality and our resources, although they are charming and great, they are limited. So, there's essentially 2 tiers here. 1, there are the hunters. I'm one of those. Most of you are not. You will not be. And then there is also the civilians. There's a hierarchy, and I mean that quite literally. The higher you are, the better the status you have in the city. The better the status, the more you can do here. The more you can participate in, the more your word is worth something. Now, that being said, there's also a hierarchy within the civilians. Sorry, it's been a long day. To reach higher on the hierarchy and raise up both in status and literal physical position into the sky, you must hunt. Your skills as a hunter while staying here will be tested. For those of you that are not hunters, we still appreciate you and your skills and the things that you can bring to the table. What we are aiming to do here is to create some of the most powerful, unique fighting forces on this planet. And that is only possible by the artisans and people that make everything go round when we're out hunting. If you want to be a hunter, you'll be tested. If you don't want to be a hunter, you will be tested, just not with violence. You'll be categorized, figured out what your skill sets are, and we'll try to put you in the right place and make you as comfortable as you can. Any questions? Lots of this going around. Stunned silence. Welcome to Allegory. He walks away, and like a couple of other attendants just start going by with lots and lots of just information gathering from you guys. You get various things like name, place of birth, How long were you in Aurora's Rest? What did you see there? What information do you have about what happened there? Weaknesses of the enemy, all sorts of stuff. What do you guys divulge and what do you guys hold back? Where's your mindset currently with all this?
While he was giving that speech, can I roll perception to just see if anybody was clocking us more than normal? Obviously, this new group of strangers showed up, and then based off what we've been told about the city, plus what he was saying about the ranking system, does anyone stick out more that their attention is drawn to us?
Yeah, give me an insight check here as you're scanning a crowd. I am.
I'll do it. I could do it at disadvantage because Dro would
Yeah,
also be listening to what he's saying. So
yeah, it's a disadvantage because you're scanning
a lot.
You know, this hangar has thousands of people in it.
Wow.
That is a 17 and an 18 on the die for a 24.
Okay, 24. You guys are some of the more martial looking characters, more the physical types that have come through here. Mostly they're dealing with civvies, and you guys are gaining a lot of eyes. You're not the only physical people. But between you guys and Randar, the lot of you are mostly, I mean, with the exception of Cressida, she absolutely looks like a nerd, but she looks like she's still mostly intact. You guys do seem like you're tough, like you've seen some shit, and like as you're looking around, you see the look of people who have been through the grinder and managed to come out on the other side, and it's that type of look where you recognize the same type of people that you would probably categorize yourself as in that subject matter.
Just keeping an eye on them. I completely forgot what I was gonna say. Hearing that, I guess my question is to Yaslin. Dro's gonna look over and just see how she's reacting to that whole explanation.
I mean, she doesn't seem like she seems kind of excited. I mean, it's like, ooh, a proving ground of sorts, and it's kind of Yaslin's spiel. It's like her bread and butter.
Looking over at you. Are you good with getting into another fight?
Think I'll be okay?
It's Dro, so I can actually do this insight check. Oh, that almost screwed me. Oh, that was about to be a 3, but it was a 16 on the die, so 23.
Whereas in Aurora's Rest, she was more reserved and kind of took a back seat and more observational. Something during the trip here. It might just be because she's lost 2 levels of exhaustion. But also, like, something has kind of shifted a little bit in her posture. She seems more confident.
Turn to the nerd. What about you?
I think Cressida has been looking around, scanning the, I guess, airport or whatever this equivalent is. Clearly looking for someone. And she'll just... I suppose if they are going to be testing us, then others from the Athenium would be tested. That's where I should be able to find them, right?
With the other mages? Or one in particular?
There's one I had in mind.
Trust can try to recall the very numerous that he knows, a total of 3. You care to share who?
Bro, you kind of get like a backhanded slap into your shoulder. A little bit lower from your position. Now's not the time to cry, boy.
It's okay. It's my wife. I lost her during the fight. I don't know if she made it out.
This mood's gonna drastically change. Okay. Randar is probably right. It's probably not the time to pry in the middle of here. But we'll keep an eye out.
She's half high elf, half drow. She's hard to miss.
I was just gonna turn and look at Randar when she says half drow. That's fair. I think I could spot at least a half drow. Dro's just awkwardly gonna try to step away from this conversation. Just look at Randar like, ow.
Randar's gonna walk with you and just gonna be like, no, stay. Continue the talk. It'd be good for you.
Most of the time you told me to shut up.
And that was one of those times.
Yeah. Just start like rubbing where he got smacked.
He eventually comes around to you guys, like clipboard style. Name.
They probably Dro step up. Name's Dro.
Place of birth. Time of birth. Location of birth. Location, Aeon, not Aeon, something else.
From Aurora's Rest.
My
From
condolences.
Aeon. And the rest is unknown.
Plenty of those types around here.
I can imagine.
Alright. 3 of you, looks at all of you. Between Yaslin, Randar, Cressida, Ro. Alright. Standard protocol at the moment. talking to anybody who seems like they saw a good scrap or two in the city. Tell me what you got. What'd you see? What do you know? Overall, we're hoping to help. Anything you guys can give us to help protect our city from that desolation, greatly appreciated, and maybe we can even help punch it back.
I do an insight on if he actually is truthful about they could possibly help.
Yeah.
Basically the last thing he said there. 21.
Okay. This dude seems... You get the impression of this guy as like a good foot soldier. Solid in what he's supposed to do, his duty. And he's a little hopeful, and yet at the same time maybe a little doubtful. You know, his ability to push buttons up the chain seems limited. Like he's talking a little bit like he's kind of hoping some of the higher ups do the right thing.
Charles gonna step up. Well, the four of us, motioning to himself, Yaslin, Randar, Warden, we're in the center of it all. We saw a graft that was opening and being used by fire. The army of the Cardinal of Fire, and they were invading Aurora's Rest to gather some magical item power that I don't know. And
what percentage of what you just told me is this? Sorry. It's been a long night. I'm running on fumes here, mate. What you just told me, how much of the story is that? Is there a lot more to it?
very much so.
All right. I don't have time to go into a long story, but it sounds like you've got something worth listening to. Let me circle back, get you guys into a debrief room, and I'll get everybody else moving on their way before we detour for that. How's that?
That's fair.
All right. Said the four of you here. Big Blue, Dro. What were your names?
Yaslin.
Got it, Yaslin. And Cressida, are you kind of sticking close to them at this point, or are
I feel
you?
like with the description of him, like once he starts describing what happened, you saw her pull out a notebook and full on, she's full nerd taking notes of everything that happened, she's trying to piece together what happened to her city, so she's like focused on her notes.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So you're kind of sticking to them.
Mhm.
All right, rad. Okay, so he goes up to Yaslin. Okay, same questions. Place of birth. location of birth, all the other stuff. Who the hell are you? That one's directed towards Yaslin, and he's going to repeat the same questions to Cressida and everything, too.
Excuse me?
Were you not listening? Who are you? Gotta take some information down for everybody. Got your name was Yaslin. What else? Like, where are you from? What's your affiliation at Aurora's Rest?
Affiliation to Aurora's Rest. I was traveling there with my group.
Fair enough.
I'm from the Tawny Forest.
Tell me. Got it. Didn't expect to see any of you up here. You're a long way from home. A little cold up here. Comparatively, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I had a thermal cube.
Sounds sad that you lost it.
I'm upset. For multiple reasons.
It's a big city. You could probably get another one here. Although,
I don't know if I
not
want
quite.
one.
Sure. Anyways, you from Aeon? Were you born off-world and you were from the Tawny after you came in?
I'm from Aeon.
Got it. Thanks. As I said, get you into a debrief room and pick a brain about what you know.
Oh, lovely.
Hey, your name? Your name, miss? As he kind of like raises his voice to get Cressida to like snap out of it.
Yes, Cressida Sylvestra, born in the Girvan Empire, immigrated to Aurora's Rest 135 years ago. I've lived there ever since with my wife, who I've lived with for 75 years, Alana Sylvestra. I was born on X date at 12:59 a.m. on the summer solstice.
What in the world?
Drone's just
Yaslin
like,
just her mouth kind of goes. The more she hears, the more slack-jawed she gets.
I feel like it's a cartoon. Drone Yazner just the more she
What?
talks.
There's a like this guy in front of you. The more you keep talking, he's like keeping up with you like the entire time. Most of the time, when you start rambling like that, and you're very used to it, that people give you looks like Dro and Yaslin just did, and this guy's like, got it, and he like quickly repeats all the information back to you very matter-of-factly. Like he was like on point with it the whole time.
I think you see her eyes visibly light up, and she's like, "You would have made an excellent research assistant."
I would have made a terrible research assistant. I'm just good at gathering data that's relevant to finding something to kill.
Great.
Anyways, never put me in a lab. That's a terrible idea. Alright, cool. So Warden, you guys are being processed in the hangar inside of Allegory. This guy's kind of the handler for your ship. He's already kind of processed you, and like he's got that you have been to Allegory before, just at a different pyramid, and he's kind of like pulled up your information and just kind of going through. He's just going through the crowd. He's going through the family of 4 that lost one of their children, and he's going through and he speaks to the woman with the pink hair, who looks very like small and subdued. Speaks to the priestess, who seems massively haggard. Like, of everybody that was on the ship, she probably overall got the least amount of rest. because every time she had any sort of energy, she was just pumping it into another healing spell. There's some, he has to visibly like call over a stretcher, and like he's talking to her, and he recognizes the look, and he's just kind of like, all right, let's get you somewhere else. He kind of like puts her down, and like they take her off to like actually recuperate. As she like, as soon as he kind of gives her like, it's okay, we'll take it from here, like everything inside of her just kind of collapses and she passes out. And he's ready for it, and he like catches her and puts her on the stretcher and they take her. And he kind of comes to Warden last, and he says, all right, is that everybody off your ship?
Well, I would assume so. If you'd like, I can walk back through and do a double check. I don't think there'd be anyone hiding in any of the crates. I think most of them are ready for a hospital bed.
Okay, gotcha. Warden, give me a perception check as you search back on your ship. Or investigation. And of course, with advantage to your ship.
Let me pull up my character token. And we shall do investigation. Yeah, you said investigation, right?
I said perception at first, but then I changed it to investigation.
Okay. I shall do an investigation check, which I'm kind of ass at. Oh, an 18. Wow, not a natural one starting off a session? This is shocking!
just you.
Are we
wait.
getting close to a full moon or something? Like, what's happening here?
The stars aligned.
It's the comet.
Ah, yeah, yeah, that one.
Comment.
It's pretty easy. As you go through, you do find somebody that's poorly tried to stow away in like the back of one of the rooms. And it's the kind of late teenage girl holding the body of her dead younger teenage sister.
Warden's antennas kind of like undulate a little bit as he tries to process an emotion. He's thinking about just like kicking them off, but also, you know, the dead person. That must be at least mildly traumatizing. And he goes, unfortunately, I believe it is about time that you all head off. Everyone else has left, and I can't have anybody on the ship here while I'm not here.
Roll a persuasion check.
There it is. There it is.
Oh, this is great.
The world makes sense again.
It does. It does make sense again.
And you get immediate like cornered animal vibes. No, we're not leaving. This is where we want to stay. It feels safe here.
All right.
Yeah, I just told him, don't worry about it.
Warren's gonna look around and go, all right, and ignore the comment to nothing, as he then says, well, I will not force you off the ship. You've had a rough week anyways, but if you're going to stay here, I would prefer to set you up in a room or put you somewhere where you'd be a lot more comfortable.
Yeah, that sounds fine.
And
yeah, 2 beds, please.
what is your name?
Scanning.
Oh no, a DM's worst nightmare. What's your name,
I
Eddie?
am Stephen Bob, mighty slayer of every dragon on the planet.
Listen, this is Lilith.
Right.
She's
Well-
just she's a little shy.
Perception check on obviously dead body.
Give it.
$23.
Definitely dead. Pale. You see, these girls are, both of them are very dark-haired, like almost like raven and silky at the best of times, you imagine. Even though your sensibilities about female fashion are probably not the greatest.
Let alone
Um,
humanoid.
Yeah, let alone humanoid. Cosima has like long hair, and tell me if I'm getting any of this wrong. She's got long hair that is formed with like, it's kind of like it's more like flat natural hair with like several braids on top. She has quite thick hair, or at least that's what it's supposed to be. There are sections of it that are burnt off and like very, very scraggly, ash caked, and sweat and terror and blood have done a number on both of them. She looks like battered generally, but nothing massively. Her sister is dead. Very, very, like, almost parchment white. And you see the same kind of raven hair, less voluminous, more kind of flat and thick, except like all up the right side of her face is burned and sunken, and also like it burned away like a chunk of her hair above her right ear. Her eyes are kind of open and milky.
Right. Well,
They're and because it's a 23 on perception, there is a smell. She's starting to decay.
that's what I thought. I will,
But not as badly as you might think.
I will go ahead and let Cosima know. Well, there is a room to the left that has 2 beds in it. Can I guide you there and let you just stay there until I return?
That's fine.
All right. So he's going to go ahead and guide them to the left room, which is right above the cargo bay, and it's got 2 beds, the chest and shelf, a little furnace-y thing to keep the heat in, and then a bathroom that is attached. He goes, all right, so stay right here. I'll be back in the future. The ship will be restocked with food, according to one of our guests who was very kind to travel with us these past couple days. Just stay in here with your sister, all right?
Yeah, that's fine.
So Warden's gonna go ahead, turn back.
Who are you?
Oh, I am Protector.
Okay. Weird
I'm
name.
the captain of the ship.
No, I know it's a weird name. That's what I just told him. But
Yeah.
it's a nice
She's
name.
not wrong.
She likes the room.
Good. I'm glad she does. She doesn't speak very much, does she?
Oh no, should I just... We went through a lot.
Oh,
This
yes,
is
that
not-
makes sense.
Don't judge her by this. This is not... We went through a lot.
Orden's gonna go ahead and walk over to the door, and as he's closing it, go, "Oh, don't forget, kitchen, just right on the other side of the door. You should be able to find your food." And he closes the door, starts making his way toward the ship. Toward the exit of the ship. And as he makes his way for the exit of the ship, he's going to look for one of the station managers.
Yeah, you see the guy that has been intaking you, and you kind of like got most of the civvies taken care of and sort of moving, and like, you know, he did the basic introduction and like the stuff that he needed to do, made sure there was nobody else on the ship, and he's kind of waiting for your confirmation on that. And so he is kind of like nearby and eyeing what's happening, and like probably takes you solid 15 minutes to come back after you start. Well, yeah, we'll say that. I mean, the ship's big, but if you're just like walking around and you know the spaces to hide, which you obviously do, like, you're able to check it pretty quick. Most of that, it took you like 8 minutes to find them, and then like another 7 or 8 minutes to have that conversation.
Then Protector is going to go ahead and walk up to the person and say, "So, there is somebody on the ship
Right.
who was allowed to stay on the ship. They are
What?
not a stowaway. They're not doing anything crazy. They are still just resting and need a little bit more time to themselves, which I will happily grant. And when I return to my ship, they will then be asked to leave. They are more than welcome to stay. However, this person is also keeping a dead body with them, and to avoid any disgusting smells and/or I don't know, creatures sneaking aboard the ship to nibble on the corpse. I would like it if you and some of your guards would be able to go in there and take the dead body out, but make the girl stay. It's going to be hard to separate them, but they need... Oh, I don't know. They need to, they need to be separated. The body is dead.
I'm getting paid enough for this shit. Got it. Dead body, clinging onto it. It's rotting.
It smells like it's beginning. It's not too bad yet, but it has been 3 days, so...
3 days is usually enough for something to start to go rotten. Warden, give me an Arcana check.
Arcana. Ah, yes. Arcana. 3.
Yeah. Should be further along than that. Weird. Right. This sounds like the sort of thing that we will need to use sedatives on her for.
Oh my. Shit!
If she's that disillusioned where she's attached to a body not acknowledging that it's dead, we may need to put her out in order to transfer her to proper care.
I understand. Is the rest of my party still around?
I was about to ask, are we hearing this?
Would you guys have waited for Warden, or would you have kind of moved on with the procession of everybody else?
Hero would have waited for Warden.
Yeah. Yaslin would have waited.
feel like Cressida would have waited to make sure everyone got off.
All right. Then Orden is going to go ahead
So-
and.
Sorry, so yes, Dro, you hear this happening unless Warden's like specifically trying to like speak hushly so it doesn't transfer.
Not really. I think he's pretty just like.
Mhm. Okay.
Rose gonna walk up to Warden. Did I hear you right in saying there's a dead body still on your ship?
Yes.
To be fair, there were a few people that did pass away,
Hmm.
like on the ship. Probably about 3 of them. Like out of the 35 people that you brought, only 32. Oh, actually, the 3 of them plus this. So you already knew about bodies; they've already been ushered off. And this one was different. Like this one is being kept purposefully.
So, question for you, Morgan. When
Mhm.
the guard here, this guy, said something about they were talking about that this should have been decayed within 3 days. That seems odd.
Mm-hmm.
Would Drove caught that?
Yeah.
Gordon, do you mind if I go in real quick?
Sure. It's not going anywhere.
May I accompany you? I think I can help the child. And you see, she pulls open a book, the book that's on her hip, and it rapidly flips through pages, and you see one of the pages glow with runic patterns. And then her eyes kind of glow that similar light gold, and then she closes the book. I'm ready if you are.
I would appreciate a little company. I've just got a feeling about something. Joe's going to start to walk. Warden, where exactly on the ship are they?
Well, I guess I'll just come and show you. And Warden will join the group.
Joe's gonna turn and look at Yaslin. Here to join?
Ah! Well, it beats meandering and maybe getting into trouble.
Smart.
If you would allow me to approach the girl first,
That's
so
what I
that
was
she's not upset.
was just about to ask if someone could have a conversation or something with her. And I will stand in the back.
Yes, allow me.
So we'll go up. Dro will look harmless as he normally does, but let the rest of the group in front. And he's going to try to get out of her line of sight, but still within 60 feet of her.
Warden, which room did you place them in?
So Warden will go up to this left room right here and knock on the door and be like, "Hello, just so you know, some people are going to be coming in just to talk, and that is all. Nothing to worry about. They're good people." And then he'll just press on the handle and slightly open it.
Give me a persuasion check.
Woof. Oh wow, an 18.
There we go.
Surprisingly, Warden's good with kids.
Sometimes. Sometimes he gets a nat 1, sometimes he gets an 18.
It just depends.
Right? Who is it? Okay. Not too many people.
Warden will take a step back and make a motion and stay out of the room.
You come in first.
Shit. After hearing that, Warden will then step forward, give a shrug, and then push the door open and enter in, stepping to this wall and laying against it, or leaning against it, I should say.
Okay.
Cressida will
The-
follow close after.
Okay. And you see them like you hear kind of a shuffling like and you see huddled in the back of the room is a girl like tucked against the wall, and you see the older sister like standing with her back like with a knife pointed. What do you want?
Shit, I left a knife in here? A warden's
wanted to check
actual
on you.
statement.
Yeah,
in-
we're fine.
This
So you
corner,
can go away.
the very
Yeah.
far corner.
Mm-hmm.
What species is she?
They are human.
Okay. Did Mr. Regulation join us? Is he actually here?
Yeah, he's actually there. He's got a couple more members with him. Randar is not with you. He has gone to shepherd the flock.
I'm gonna glance back at him and just, as low as I can, mouth, "Are you ready?"
And you see him like
And I
get his
cast
people
sleep
ready.
on the girl.
This is gonna make what I was gonna do a lot easier.
Okay, go ahead and roll your die.
So the new sleep doesn't require rolling dice. It requires the
What
target
is the
to
new
make a
sleep?
wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
So there's no more counting dice. It's just a wisdom saving throw. So you could potentially put a much larger target to sleep now.
Yay! Sleep doesn't suck.
The little things.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's gonna be a 17.
My spell DC is 19.
Who are you? And she
I rush forward and
collapses.
catch her. Yeah.
Give me a dex save. or a dex. Yeah, I suppose you saves because it's reactionary.
I'm not. It's not a problem. Don't worry about it. I'm a wizard.
What'd you get?
Wizard.
It's
A
7.
7.
The just lands unceremoniously, like kind of like beats her body up as she falls. She's out.
I'm gonna scoop her up and try to hand her off to the personnel who will get her the help she needs.
Where is this dead body exactly?
In the corner.
Like sitting
Like-
up?
Looks like if somebody was like curled up, just kind of like tucked against the wall, as if they were like leaning on it for sleep.
Is the face exposed to us or face towards the wall?
Towards the wall.
Joe's gonna get 30 feet of the body and use Divine Sense.
Remind me what things does it trigger?
That's what I just had it and I scrolled past it. So I'm basically casting good and evil. I can sense anything affected by the hollow spell, know the location of any celestial, fiend, or undead within a 30-foot radius. The idea is
Nothing things.
really interesting. Dro would have went in there with like a set mindset of this is an undead. And then if you would have got that, very confused. Could Dro have hit that and got both of them in the radius when they were taking her out?
Yeah, easy. No.
Nothing. Okay. Kind of turn and look back at Warden. Well, right side, my suspicion was incorrect.
What were you trying to do?
Dro will motion you out of the room because he still doesn't trust this body that's in here.
The warden will follow.
Ever since I've got my very limited magical ability, it's never worked yet. I have capability of sensing other type of beings within around 30-foot range, and I was suspecting, based off of what I saw on Mr. Guard here's reaction about you saying the body hasn't decayed yet. I haven't ran into a lot of it, but it sounded like undead to me, so I'd rather be safe than sorry. And kind of glad I was wrong.
Yes, well, I certainly don't want to fight any zombies on my ship. I'd prefer to keep that off the ship. They get too much brains everywhere. I appreciate your caution.
I was just gonna take a peek back at the body again. Just still confused, but seeing how the girl reacted to it compared to everybody else kind of reminds him of how Dro would talk to Echo and people would give him the same looks.
So it kind of creeps up behind you. Would you like me to confirm that there's no magic at work here? That is something I can do.
You know, that probably wouldn't be a bad idea.
I'm
mean-
going to
No, go ahead.
detect magic.
Did you poke it?
We're not poking the body.
You get
Not the stick.
you get a ping from several things. Like everybody's wearing magical gear. Even Mr. Rambo, kind of in the back, he's got some gear that is classified as magical, even though it looks technological in nature. Many things on the ship ping. And you get low-level necromancy from the body.
Would I know if this is a spell like Gentle Repose? Because that's a necromantic spell, I believe.
Give me an Arcana check.
Jesus.
22.
You recognize the signs. It's Gentle Repose.
I will look at Mr. Rambo because I've forgotten his name.
Name's Ingun.
Incan. It is possible that this body can be brought back with the right spellcasters. If you have a temple, perhaps the girl could be reunited with her family. She has had the necessary preservation magic placed on her by likely the cleric who traveled with us.
With that level of Arcana, it doesn't feel like holy magic. Just something about it, the vibe feels a little more icky.
She's not undead. What the?
She keeps her story.
Yeah, she's keeping the story. Her.
Nice.
Wait. Let's see what she does. Taking cues. 10. That's not helpful.
Yeah, it's like in the middle.
The story.
Uh-huh.
Because I
Sure.
think for her, the most important part is that the family's reunited. You can figure it out later as long as everyone's alive to figure it out. So her idea is get it to a temple, and the temple can either bring her back or figure out what the heck's going on with her.
Got it. Okay. Okay. So she's not gonna.
Concern
She's
of
not gonna.
money.
Resources are extremely limited. We've got tens of thousands of people that just showed up out of bloody nowhere.
Yes.
Right. So. How much time do we have with this thing? There's a massive queue of people that could potentially be revived.
The spell typically lasts 10 days, and I would say with 3 days of travel, it's best to stick on the shorter end of that estimation. You likely have 5 to 6 days left.
Well, well, it's above my pay grade, I'm afraid. I'll put in the request to see if we can get her revived. No promises. Nothing's guaranteed right now.
Is there somewhere outside of my ship that I can put the dead body?
We should move it. Yeah, let's move it to the morgue. Come along.
All right.
And he signals this guy who's carrying the sleeping version of the teenager. You guys collect the body and you head off the ship.
Looking at the dead body and then the older teenager, and then realizing the weird shit that's going on with her that's not quite normal. How do I say this? Can I look at the two of them side by side and get a sense if there's... I mean, Simulacrum's not a spell a teenager would cast, but maybe somebody cast it on them? I don't know. Do they look like the same person?
No. They have a distinct family resemblance,
Okay.
but they seem to be direct sisters. Similar enough, but different enough that you're like, that line of thinking doesn't feel quite right.
Okay.
Drill's gonna kind of put his hand on Cressida's shoulder as they take that body out. I take it you can still see whatever magic was going on. Is it still in there? Or did it leave with her?
Ooh, did it?
Muted.
Muted.
Well, naturally. The body has gentle repose on it, and as the body moves, your 30-foot sense of detect magic is traveling with you. You can sense when it's going. As you guys leave the building, or leave the ship, and you've got all these questions going on, what's kind of the marching order here? Like,
I think I'm probably close to the front because I'm trying to keep the body within range of the detect magic.
Okay.
If not at the front.
okay. Dro, Protector,
It was
Gaslin.
it was the four of us, right? And the guards, right? The king.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so the guards currently have both bodies. One is dead, one is sleeping.
Yeah, I think Dro would be watching. Yeah, he would be trailing behind.
In the back.
Yeah.
Being able to see everybody's backs.
Sounds good.
He's not far
You guys-
from the group, though.
Okay, sounds good. When you guys got into the city, I said it was about 5 a.m., 4 a.m., something around there. The moon is still high in the sky. And as you guys exit the ship, the hangar doors open again. It's probably around, at this point, maybe like 6:30-ish. Still very much so early morning. Definitely still in the frame of night. As you guys step out, the older sister goes first. Body goes next. And Cressida, as soon as the body leaves the ship, give me a perception check.
It's loading.
It doesn't want to tell me the result.
Oh
Oh,
my
God.
Precedent.
Could it have been passive investigation? My passive investigation's 23. Oh, that's a natural one. Gotta respect that natural one.
Yeah, I gotta respect it.
That's so
You are
bad. I miss Margot.
I wanted to be like, well, Dro was looking out, maybe, but it's a one.
see, Dro, based on your anybody that is paying attention, you can roll a perception check. Crescent is out.
Do you want me
Which
to
is like-
roll, or do you want to use passive?
No, you're looking for clues at this point, so this is an active.
Nah. Didn't even roll in. Oh wait.
I really need to pick dice that I can actually read.
I know. I feel it. Awesome.
That's a 24.
Fuck.
24. Okay, Cressida, you are like all up in your head. You don't exist in the real world right now. You have gone into like full like mental library mode, and you're like, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? You notice, you are mind palacing hard right now. You got no vibes on the situation. Everybody else. Let me see here. I'm going to describe this in a little bit different way. Cressida, as soon as you step out about 15 feet, you're walking down the ramp into the hangar. Your arcane senses from Detect Magic explode. And you catch massive magic churning immediately all around you, like essentially like as soon as you get halfway down the ramp, it's like an arcane chain flash bomb for you, and you are essentially stunned for a moment. For everybody else, there is a gigantic blue and white liquid flare with a silvery dribble to it. And the three of you are all watching very closely, like, what's going on with this body, being very cautious. And as soon as the moonlight touches the body, the older sister wakes up and screams,
Huh?
"You can't take her!" And as soon as the moon touches her body, there is a blast of this silver and blue and white energy as the beam that's kind of like coming in sideways through the opening in the pyramid hits her, and it just flares out, exploding like a nova. All of you give me strength checks to not be knocked off your ass.
I'm going down.
I'm gonna get knocked on my ass.
Yeah, Crescent, you fail. You're not paying attention at all.
Well, it's better than I thought it would be. It's 11.
18.
Yaslin, you stay up. Everybody else,
Oh gosh.
and the captain. Yeah, just the captain. So Yaslin and Ingun, you guys stay up, and everybody else just like landing and like sliding across the floor. You get blasted away about 5-10 feet each, and the body of the sister, she opens up, and like her eyes like roll to the back of her head, and like white silvery light starts exploding all over her. She's in the moonlight as well, and it feels like a spotlight from a god is staring straight onto this situation, and the dead body is hanging. And then you're all just kind of watching, slightly blinded, slightly deafened. You see the body twitch.
I thought you said she was dead.
Looking something up.
What the fuck is happening?
Is it still, has it been past 10 minutes since Dro's?
No, it's still going
Dro's
on.
still got that going. Is it sending bells going this time?
Celestial Fiend or Undead? Is that the trio?
Celestial. Oh, it does Elemental. I should use this more. Elemental, Fey, or Fiend.
Okay.
I forgot about the Elemental part. Oh, and Aberrations.
Okay, so like half the monster manual. Got it.
Everything?
I think it updated because there's a new version of it. I don't remember this list being
Yeah.
this big.
I don't remember it being that big either.
It actually reflects Detect Good and Evil now, which did all of that. I think they did add.
Yeah, because
Got
I
it.
think it was just like Celestial, Fey, Fiend, and Undead.
Okay. The body, as it pumps, and like all the blood that's on the body starts to drop off, and before it hits the ground, it turns into a silver liquid and evaporates as soon as it hits the ground. And parts of like a little bit of like blood like comes up and like probably like pushes out what was in her, you know, as she died. Whatever force hit her, there's probably blood stuck in the channels throughout the body, and more silvery blood like pulls out of her mouth, and like she like shorts a little bit, and like blood flies from her nose and a little bit of eyes and like dripping down, and the same thing, just like a chunk like dissipates immediately, and it begins beating more and more like that. And the head rears back and starts to swing, the arms start to twitch, and this is all happening incredibly fast. And Dro, you are picking up undead from the body. And more surprisingly, you're getting a sense of wrongness and malformation from the light of the moon and the connection between the moon, the sister, and the new undead body. Have you ever actually seen an aberration before? I don't know if I've ever actually pitted you guys
I
against one.
don't think so. What was the very first thing Drone Yaslin fought when he met the group? That
Oh,
thing
the
that,
Whistler.
yeah, what was he?
I think that was an aberration.
Was
Yep.
he-
It feels a little bit like that, like just the sense of like warpedness. Give me a history Arcana check or an insight check at disadvantage. Arcana and history can be fun, can be regular, but if you do insight, it's a disadvantage. Or rather, investigation at disadvantage, if you want.
So, investigation or insight?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll do investigation. That's an 8.
An 8. This is the first time you've picked up on something, and you're not fully able to process it all yet. And the whole room is in this state of what the fuck. There's somebody in the back, kind of like a large, dark-skinned female that, like, she was one of the few that didn't fall as well. She pulls out and like aims a gun and launches a grenade over at this. And the older sister, no. And a dome covers them.
What the
That's what
happening?
spell this dome is.
It seems like it was an instant give me an Arcana check. DC's real low.
19?
Somehow it was an instant cast of Lehman's tiny hut.
This bitch. Okay.
Eh? Nani?
What? What
did we
just bring to this city?
Yeah, yo! Yasmin's like, hey guys.
Who's next to Dro?
Pretty sure it's Warden.
With it,
We're at last.
No, you're
because we got
in the
knocked back.
back, Dro. So like, as you got knocked back into the ship.
Ow. Okay. Dro's gonna rush up to the rest of the group, sword out.
Oh, we're going?
I was back there, so
Well, you would catch up eventually.
Dro's gonna look over. Okay, nerd.
I think you see her book like beginning to do the like floating with the pages turning, and she just says, "This girl is defying." Wow, that was Margot. This girl is defying magic. We have to stop her. I don't know what's happening to her.
She's undead
And
now.
If I
Huh?
can cast a spell, or if are we about to roll initiative?
Yeah.
You can cast this. You can cast a spell, but we don't. This is still kind of a story mode. Like we don't have to go into initiative for this.
I'm going to dispel magic on the tiny hut. And the same rules apply. It's 3rd level and lower is instantly dispelled. Otherwise, it's a DC 10 plus spells level is a DC.
Okay. What spell level do you cast it at?
3rd.
3rd. Okay. And again, just kind of no counterspell. Injure Dispel Magic fizzles.
Alright.
And this is from the younger sister it's counterspelling right now?
No, the older sister and the younger sister is still.
What's the use of Dispel Magic?
Question above board. Did Margot ever do counterspell?
Yes, she did, and I thought about doing it. Actually, yeah. Can
Well-
I counterspell her? Because the counter. No, we changed. How did we rule the counterspell rules work? I think we
Counter.
said it costs the spell slot still.
The rules say that. The new
So
rules.
no, the rules say on a failed
rules
save,
say-
the spell dissipates no effect.
The rules.
If the
I think the
spell
rules
without-
say it burns the action economy, but it does not burn the spell slot. I believe it's a con
Yeah.
save.
If it's above level up. Wait, no, it's a con save regardless. You attempt.
Okay,
to-
yeah. Give me a
Process.
con save as we're learning counterspell for the first time in 2024.
While
Yeah.
she does that, would Drone know that you have to physically see to use counterspell based off him seeing Margot? That's why I was curious.
Yeah, you've been around magic enough. I'm not gonna make you roll for that.
Is there an object near the younger sister that I can cast darkness on? After seeing that her counterspell magic.
Oh, shit.
Yes, you can.
Okay. So seeing the
Does the
counterspell.
16 work?
Oh, no, 16 fails. You
So I
you
don't
feel
spend the spell slot.
you don't expend the spell slot, and I think the way since it's a con save, the way that we're ruling it is that it's a kind of like getting the air knocked out of you on your magic circuits. It's kind of like a concussive magical blast that whatever you're trying to channel just goes and it stops it before it actually happens. So the magic is still in you, and it's kind of like stuffed back down before it has a chance to leave your body. Since it doesn't burn the spell slot and it's a con save now, that's the way that I want to rule it.
Dro casts darkness on that. Can he see and try to clock if she can actually see through this darkness? Because Dro can see into it.
You can see through it. You cast darkness and something fucking weird is happening with magic right now. You start to you see her turn her eyes directly towards you, but you also see motes of you see the moon cut a path through into this dome. You see little bolts of silvery moonlight kind of jutting out, and it's kind of almost like dark disco balling with the darkness spell. Both of them are trying to occupy the same space, and they're not mixing properly, like oil and water.
As I cast Dispel Magic, because that was an abjuration spell, I'm triggering my Abjurer's Ward. So you see that same kind of light blue magic expand into a runic shield around me.
Okay, so you are protected by a shield.
It's a ward, so it just absorbs damage. It doesn't actually stop the damage coming in.
Okay, got it. Cool. Learning new subclasses. Okay.
And because I'm an Abjuration Wizard, Dispel Magic is bonus action now, not an action.
Ooh, shiny.
I'm gonna Elementalism.
Okay.
and try to create a. I can do like cover any surface with 5 square feet of sand. So I'm gonna just try to cover the front of Liam's tiny hut with sand to just add to the sand or dust. A shroud of dust or sand is what it says.
Okay. You see her like kind of crook her head. And her okay, Yaslin and Dro and Warden, what do you guys want to be doing here?
Dro's just gonna keep that darkness on the younger sister, the counterspell, because I can move it. If she moves, it moves.
Okay.
But he's also seen, well, let me phrase this. Does it seem like it's affecting her vision at all? Or is it like Margot, where she can see through it and it was pointless to throw her into darkness? That's what he's looking for. He's looking to see if she has the same abilities as Margot. Or any sort of ways she can see through darkness. Magical darkness.
Yeah. Sorry, the girl inside or
The
like
gir-
Cressida?
The girl that is in the darkness right now, which is the one that counterspelled.
No, it's not the same thing as Margot.
But she can, she's giving off that she can see through it.
Yeah.
Oompada loompada.
There's literally Dro's gonna say that out loud. It's just gonna drop it. There's no point in keeping it up.
Fucking, like, he's like, are we fighting, guys?
They
Are
haven't done
we-
anything to attack us. We've reacted before they did. There's a space between the two sisters, right?
Yeah.
Dro's gonna cast dancing lights between them. Thinking since they're from Aurora's Rest, most people he knows from Aurora's Rest love the lights in the sky. So he's gonna recreate those to try to calm them down.
Okay. Got it. You throw up the lights. Your darkness is concentration, and dancing lights, even though it is a cantrip, it is also concentration. Do you want to drop it?
I'll drop darkness. If it's not seeming to affect her, it's no point in concentrating on it.
Okay, gotcha. As soon as you relent, all the darkness, it doesn't dissipate. Instead, it turns silver as well. Like, it is absorbed into whatever this process is that's happening. And there's still, like, there's chunks of it that are so thick that you can't see through it in just, like, this silvery haze. And then there's moments where, like, the beam is thick and kind of growing, and you can see inside. And she's just kind of observing outwards. And at this point, the younger sister, like, she's arched back. Her fingers are cracking. There's like, at first it seems like electricity kind of arcing between her fingers. But you notice it's not that. It's like white water. Just kind of like slipping around. And just kind of cycling around her body.
Tro throws up the dancing lights and originally had his sword ready. But she screamed, "You will not take her." And after what they went through, I think Dro, and if this is incorrect, let me know, but I think he would start to piece together they're from Aurora's Rest. Something happened there that traumatized them. So Dro is going to try to bring the beauty of their home to them and make them feel safe. So Dro will start to slowly walk up.
And you put the dancing lights. Because it's Liamon's tiny hut, no magical effect can get inside of the hut. It cancels it out, so you can put it like kind of outside.
Yeah, just so both of them can see the lights.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, and they both. The older sister kind of cocks her head.
just kind of do the little like, you're safe. We're
I'm
not.
staying within 30 feet of Dro.
You will not take her from me.
We
She belongs to us.
don't want to take anybody. We're here to protect people.
Unnecessary.
This is the older sister saying this?
Yeah, this is the older sister. The younger sister has not made sound yet.
Okay.
We will protect her. Your efforts are unnecessary.
I get it. You want to protect the loved one. That's what we're doing here as well. That's why we left Aurora's Rest. Nobody here, and he's going to look around at everybody when he says this. Nobody here is going to hurt you or your sister.
Oh, I'm supposed to drop my weapon. Sorry.
Warden's hands go up like, yep,
Yeah,
no,
she shows her weapon.
Can I put my hand on Dro's shoulder and cast Enhance Ability so you have advantage on all your charisma checks?
Sure. Is that concentration?
It is.
Okay, so your detect magic drops. But it's kind of unnecessary at this point. Like, something big is happening right in front of you,
I
and
get
like
the
you don't
point.
need
We're
that spell
fine.
to be happening.
Yeah.
Gosh, damn it. Okay.
We're here to get to safety. We don't want any harm. We've already lost too much back in Aurora's Rest.
Okay, give me a persuasion check.
And what did your spell do, Kiki?
Is
You
persuasion
need
wisdom?
advantage.
No, it's
No.
charisma. Yeah,
It's
it's a advantage. It's advantage on all charisma checks.
Oh, thank God. 21. Rolled a 19 on the die. 19 and a 7.
Nice. You mean us no harm.
No. I know what it's like to lose a sister. I wouldn't want that upon anybody. And I know all you're trying to do is protect her. And I respect that. But everybody here is trying to get to safety. They have no harm or intent to harm you or your sister. We tried
She
to...
is more. She is more than that to us.
Who is us?
She will be our deliverance. She will be our guide. We are a whole. Us is a whole.
I was gonna... Oh, go ahead.
Time to go, dear sister. And the head finally comes back down, and her eyes are still closed. She begins drifting closer to her sister.
Can I do an insight if there is evil intent? Or if there...
Yeah, anybody who wants to give insight, investigation, or vibe check this situation, feel free. And
I don't like the
I'm
vibes
gonna
of this
vibe
at
check
all.
it. I'm also gonna do bonus action to switch out one of my spells.
sounds good. Warden, you're like, humans are weird.
What the fuck are you people doing?
Yeah,
Just get off my ship.
17.
Can I
4? A 4?
can I do an Arcana check
Yes.
or investigation? If that fits better.
For you, in your, it's, Arcana suits you better. You've got such a store of magical knowledge. That would be your default to pull back on right now.
29.
Okay. Some sort of possession is happening right now.
What's the distance between the two?
They're about 15 feet apart, and they're slowly closing in the last 6 seconds. It's probably down to 10.
What do you intend?
Lily, go ahead.
As this whole debacle is going on, you guys watch as a pink-haired figure starts walking towards these two. And she pulls out her instrument and starts looking at these two sisters. And she says, "You will not have her today." And casts protection of good and evil against good and evil.
She walks up and
Yeah.
touches the sphere. Oh, I realize I have the wrong icon here, but we're gonna make it work anyways.
Oh, look at my square token. I love it.
Yep, wrong one.
Okay,
But
okay.
you guys see, what do they see in more detail on this pink-haired person?
So she has this light pink, almost peach colored hair. She's very slim looking, and she's wearing a Komodo. She looks foreign by all means. Her accent is a little strange, kind of sets her apart. But she looks like she's keenly aware of what is going on here in this situation.
Okay.
I can send the art of her. Oh, did you send the art?
Yeah, I just dropped it. So this girl, amongst all this chaos, you guys don't even kind of notice her until she's right up on it. What instrument are you playing right now?
It is a lute.
Plays the lute. A little bit of energy flows up her hand. What does it look like? The magical energies from this spell.
It's almost white, but it's got this really soft pink to it, which kind of dulls almost how radiant and overpowering it could be.
Okay.
It's soft.
She reaches up and touches her hand to the dome and through the mist, and as she does, it kind of it's almost like things don't actually fully touch her. There's a small field around it, and it touches the dome and just pauses for a moment and kind of pushes in far enough for her to grasp the older sister as she casts protection from good and evil. And once again, you hear like the sound of like a giant splash, as if like the first sound, if there was a new waterfall that like forced its way off a cliff and like landed down below, you hear not a shatter, but a giant splash as the kind of this weird silvery moonlight explodes again, and everybody kind of closes their eyes, and there's two girls on the ground.
Can she lean down and just make sure, just check if either of them are alive?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's 17 medicine. I don't know if that.
Who do you check first?
The one that was talking.
You go up and check her, and easy 17 medicine check. Yeah, you go in, feel for a pulse. Like, she just look at like pure exhaustion on her face, and she is completely knocked out. She is just asleep, and as sleep could be.
And then I suppose she'll carefully go over to the younger one. And kind of just, like, letting everyone else do whatever they want behind her, really. Or just stand and stare behind him.
Yeah, you come over and you put your fingers down on the throat, in the wrist. No pulse. No rising and falling of the chest.
What I thought. She stands up.
Seems
As you stand up, the body erupts from the ground.
Yes, he stands up like, oh, it's dead.
And from that laying down position, goes into a sitting position.
No!
And this
no.
very loud inhale that is
Wait.
very deep. A body that has been so empty of oxygen for so long immediately breathes in as much as it can with a loud it all fills her body, and the younger girl opens her eyes. As you see into her eyes, or rather, as you see her eyes, you can see that they're still glassy and dead, but have just the slightest hint of gold and silver to them. She looks around, panic spreading across her, as she begins to scooch back down the rail to get away from whatever the hell is happening and whoever the hell's around. From her appearance, I will go ahead and send photos, but we'll also give a bit of a description. As Morgan said earlier, she has half of her hair on her right side is just kind of long, thin black hair, but there are burn marks all across the left side of her head, and where the rest of her hair would have been is merely just scar tissue. Lodged into her head, near the burn marks, are golden pieces. Looks as though somebody just took nuggets of gold and just shot it into her skull. Across her face are various bruises, cuts, and other wounds, along with scars across her cheeks, one across her eyebrow, one a little bit through the left side of the forehead. And then she has various different makeups, eyeshadow, that has been formed into a little wing at both of her eyes, along with like half circles around this part of the eyes, the long line going down to about a quarter of the way down her cheeks. There are various tattoos across her neck and upper shoulders, and you can also see that the wounds are not just localized to her head. She is burned across the neck, on her hands, everywhere that is visible. She is wearing some form of black, almost armor robe combination. There are hints and pieces of silver and white that seem to, as the moonlight touches it, kind of shimmer along the armor. Additionally, you can see that her skin is still very pale, almost lightly hued green. Each of her fingers, except for her thumbs, are covered in rings. Her the side of her head that was burned, which is the left side of the head, has a long earring attached to the left ear that has 3 feathers that are very, very bright and colorful compared to her black and silvery garb. These 3 feathers that hang from her ear are just a little bit bloodstained, a little bit messed up, but still in relatively good condition. Additionally, there are piercings across both ears, one through, I don't know what this one's called, the eyebrow piercing right here. And upon her head, she wears a circlet that is partially silver and partially gold that kind of mixes together with a black gem in the center. She's also got a cape, because capes are cool. Here are pictures.
And sharing them on screen as well for anybody on the interwebs.
She's going to continue scooching down the ramp, trying to get away from people.
As she kind of looks around, like, it's very clear that the place with the least amount of people is inside the ship. And, like, outside the ship, there are thousands. And she easily sees her sister on the ground as well. Okay, in this situation, what do you guys do?
I think Yaslin's absolutely stunned. She doesn't even know what she's looking at anymore. She's like, I don't know what's going on, guys. I think Haru, though, seeing this person, like, who she checked was dead, like, pop up to not dead, and, like, scooting back, she's like, wait. It's okay.
The girl looks at Haru, and you can see that there is still very intense panic on her face, and she is not persuaded.
Ingun's gonna come in. He's gonna take his bow off. Gonna take his quiver off. He's gonna kind of put his hands on the ground. Hey. Nobody's gonna hurt you. I'm sure nothing makes sense right now.
She shakes her head no.
Can he kind of like motions everybody else to like drop and like get less threatening?
Yaslin's like,
It looks back at you, Yaslin, just kind of like,
sorry, my bad, sorry. She like stows her greatsword and like takes like
Girl's just gonna walk by and just kind of pull her arm down. Still gonna have the dancing lights following, but get
Pulling my
Yasin
arm down?
so you
Wait,
get
what?
down.
I'm moving. Wait.
Also
Yeah,
to
you're
pull you
being-
down, so you're
Oh,
lower.
being-
I
You're
moved
being
back.
escorted.
Okay, right. Sorry.
Hey.
Ground.
Nobody's gonna hurt you. What's your name, girl?
The 7-foot-tall bug man is also going to keep his hands up in the air and then fall down to his knees and like squeeze his body down and be like, I am small. I am small.
Trust me, I'm small.
Oh, I'm not. I'm still in the mode where I'm playing the character. No, she's your character now. I don't have to do anything.
Lunith looks between everyone. Her eyebrows raise. There's clearly still fear and panic in her face. But she will respond, well, my name's Lunith.
Hi, Lunith. I'm Ingun.
What?
What questions do you have?
Where am I?
You're in a place called Allegory. And, let me see. Anybody with a high... Who's got high passive investigation?
I have a 23.
Okay, Cressida. You... Sorry, not investigation, passive insight. Wrong one.
17.
Isn't that the same thing? Oh, wait, hold on.
Investigation and insight are different.
Wait,
17.
my features.
Haru has a
16.
21.
16, 17, what was Haru's?
21.
God damn.
If she's specialized in one thing, it is hurting people.
Oh boy.
Okay, it's like, Haru, you talk to this guy and you can tell he's actively modifying his accent a little bit to be a little bit closer to what she's giving off
Ooh.
as a way to try to make her feel more comfortable. It's a high level communication technique.
I was trying my best to make it out of the city. I tried really hard to make it out of the city, and I think I did. If we're in Allegory, that's not that far away, right?
Right? It's one of the closer towns, that's for sure. Yeah, you made it out. So did your sister. She's just taking a little nap. She's had a long journey.
Oh. Alrighty then. So who are the rest of you, and what are you doing, and why am I here?
My name's Ingun. I'm from Allegory. I'm here. Just came in on a ship. You were resting. And I'm just making sure everybody's taken care of, and we know who everybody is, and we're sorting things out. Nice and easy is all we're doing here. Everybody's gonna go to the medical center here in a minute and just get patched up. Does that sound alright to you?
Is my sister coming with me too?
Same spot.
Okay.
Yeah. These are some of the people that you were traveling with. I've met them all today, but they've been around your sister a little bit more while you were resting. You guys are able to go around and give yourself introductions if you like.
I'm Yaslin's like, well, you and you.
And Ingen turns around. He's like,
Dro's just gonna put his hand over her mouth.
Yaslin has no charisma. She is not the one you want. She has negative charisma.
Yeah.
In fact. Oh.
Lunith is going to go ahead and roll an insight check to figure out why she stopped and why the elf in front of her just stopped her from talking.
Just put her hand over her mouth.
that's good.
14.
14. I'll say with 14, in this confused state of like she just woke up and like she feels a little weird. Everything is different. She just lost her home. Like, just the probably just an idea of like something bad happened. I don't want to tell you.
Dro probably clocking that she's staring at them. Probably remove his hand before he loses it. I am also from Aurora's Rest. My name is Dro.
Where are you from in Aurora's Rest?
I grew up in the Temple of Gentle Light.
Really?
Yeah. I worked alongside Randar.
Were you still there, like, now? Or...
Can I roll an insight to see how much she remembers?
Yeah.
Hmm. 16.
She is definitely shaky on her memory. It seems to be kind of like wishing and washing back and forth.
How much? What is your most recent memory of Aurora's Rest?
Fire and gold.
Dro's face visibly changes when he hears that.
Yaslin fucking no.
We left the city.
Yes, we did.
Yes.
I don't even know what to ask to roll for this, but Dro, hearing that and knowing Bloom was in disguise for many, many years in Aurora's Rest. Is there? She's trying to figure out if there's a connection.
Roll. This is you trying to put pieces together.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an investigation.
$17.
Are you suspicious of Lunith? because of her comment about gold? Or is it something else?
More if there is any influence from Bloom on her.
Okay. With a 17, and she's young. She's like, no, remind me, she's
15.
like 14, 15.
Jeez.
She's young. She doesn't seem. She just looks like a teen who's scared. You see the glint of something gold in her forehead. Give me a medicine check.
Can I guidance myself on that?
Yeah. Remind me, is guidance
The D4.
got some guidance? Is it a somatic?
Yes.
Okay. Lunith, you probably see his hand twitch.
That's a nat 20.
Ooh.
Gonna keep using that die.
Nat 20. Give me the guidance, anyways.
Oh.
And what's the total?
22.
22 total.
Mm-hmm. Wait. Well, in total, oh wow. No, 25. Adding my modifier to it.
Okay, yeah, 25. You don't think there's a connection? Or at least you are certain that the golden wound on her face is what killed her.
It is from blood.
And there's still chunks of gold that seem to have fused with the bone underneath her skin. And that is what's showing up above in her burn wounds. So if there was a connection, it didn't go well.
But Joe can put together Bloom had something to do with it. Or at least
With a nat 20 and your fight with Bloom, having done hand-to-hand combat with him, you are positive he was her killer.
Quietly, but freaking Yaslin has a high perception as well. I'll probably hear Joe said I should have killed him. Which
That would have been interesting.
never has come out of Joe's mouth about. He has killed things, but to protect that was strictly out of anger. What he has now seen Bloom did.
Yaslin, I think, definitely probably hears this, considering she's right next to him, and puts her hand on his arm.
Right now, Lunith, is that right?
Yes.
Right now, we're safe. All of us are safe. And like my friend here motioning towards Ingun.
Mhm.
I think going to the medical bay and getting examined to make sure any injuries obtained are looked at is probably the best bet. You're in, and he's gonna look at him, kind of like motioning like this better be true. You're in safe hands.
We'll take care of you and your sister.
What about her? And she's going to point to Cressida. Cressida.
Cress
Everybody's
just kind of stopped back and is just writing in her notebook, taking notes on literally everything that's happening.
everybody, myself included. We're all gonna go to the center and get a little patched up, okay?
Lunith nods her head, and then her head kind of moves to the side, and she gives a glance at the bug person stands kneeling on the ramp, and then just kind of looks around like that monkey meme, the symbol monkey meme, where it was just eyes left, eyes right, eyes left.
Mm-hmm.
Warden has a relatively high passive perception, and so with his hands still in the air, he's going to go ahead and lower them, and he goes, I'm not a threat of any sort. I'm the captain of this ship. I was the one who ferried you, your sister, and quite a few other people from Aurora's Rest here. Your sister has been perfectly safe, if not perhaps a little bit cramped with the other passengers that have been around. But everyone is fine, and nobody is here to hurt you. To which Lunith does not appear to feel much comforted, but she does not say anything else. She just kind of looks to Inon? Iman.
Ingen.
That was close.
I put it in the notes.
Ah, gotcha. Thank you. Looks to Ingen as he's been kind of like, I don't know, the stone so far, the rock. And she just kind of nods and goes, okay, I think I'm ready then.
Right. May I take your hand and help you up?
She will accept the hand.
Right. Okay. Right this way.
As she stands, you can see this very, very rigor mortis feeling, zombified, as she stands up, the legs are slightly bent in the wrong way, but then they kind of, pop back into place. Zombie.
That's what's been going through my head.
Right.
Oh shit.
I love that song.
That's what's in your head. Fun.
In your head. Nice. Okay. And you, unless there's anything else you guys want to do, you all begin to be ushered towards the medical bay. And there's this kind of hushed, unspoken tone of just everybody be chill, everybody be quiet, don't break the very fragile sense of calm we've established with this little girl who just woke up from being dead from the moonlight, which makes no sense. And you all, as you walk away, Warden pulls out his keys from his wallet, or from his pocket, and goes, beep, beep.
He's keeping that ship on lockdown.
Yeah.
No more dead people stowing away. No bueno.
Yeah, so not literally, but he does lock up the ship. Okay. And you guys find yourselves in medical room. do you guys want to stay with her? Or do you all want to be like treated separately?
Haru would prefer separately.
Okay.
Yes,
Jiro,
doesn't care.
I think Jiro at the moment wants to be in the same room as her, but can't right now. So we would go separately. Or at least not within her room.
Warden is going to do his best. Oh, I'm sorry. He's going to do his best to try and go with Dro.
Yeah, and overall, Ingen's like, we'll take care of the sisters. You're welcome to go get some rest. Like I said earlier, I'll find you in a little bit to pull y'all into a debrief. And so we can start to figure out a little bit more of the information. Sounds like you guys were on the front lines, and we need that info desperately. So, go back to your rooms. We'll talk again soon. He hands over a little crystal to Dro, who seems to be the figurehead here so far. And you look inside of it, and it's got little circuits inside of it. You can get a hold of me with this.
Okay. I'll put it in his bag of holding.
Right. See you in a bit. Rest up.
Before he
And
leaves,
as you guys... Oh, go ahead.
you mentioned rooms. Are you talking back on this ship, or are there rooms?
No.
here?
No, I imagine that you'll need a bit of time to be in the med bay. We'll find one that's got enough space for the lot of you, if you like.
Kind of look to the rest of the group to see if they're in agreement of one room, or if they want their own, or what be it.
Considering what we've all been through, I think we have not yet gone wrong with one room.
Well, there was that one time where we were in a hotel room and we were all together saying things we shouldn't have.
Sitting on the roof outside the building.
Everyone was mentally talking to each other except for Warden.
Okay. But listen, in that scenario, we were also kind of hiding because of things. Here, I think there is potentially power in staying together, as there is most times.
Yeah, I agree. Drill's gonna look around for everybody, including the new people, to see who's all still in here, who has wandered off.
Cressida would be looking for her wife.
The pink-haired woman, I don't think she actually told you guys her name.
No, she didn't.
No, she
She
stepped in
didn't.
front of Dro, did some magic, and everything stopped.
She stepped up,
just-
did some magic, and then
She mysteriously did in and mysteriously did out.
she's getting tended to in a separate room.
Cressida, did you tell the group, or did you just wander off as well?
I think she would have mentioned it.
Okay. I think
Just, I need to go try and find my wife among the survivors.
that's understandable. Don't go too far. I got a feeling this city may not be what we expect. So just be cautious.
I always am.
That I do believe. So just kind of walks with Yaslin and Warden to one of the medical rooms. I think Dro's head's visibly down instead of up scanning like he normally does. Because a lot just happened.
Yeah, this is just like, so, like, you guys don't know what happened, right? I'm not the only one on this page.
Some sort of possession, some woman did some magic that I didn't even clock her walking up that close, and somebody was dead, but not dead, but is dead? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm confused by that part.
I fuck minimally with magic, so whatever you're saying makes a hell of a lot more sense than what I was
Yeah,
thinking.
we're all the martial people. Like,
I
we're
can
not
cast like
magic
5
dudes.
spells.
I cast none. Unless you include magic fucking missile.
No. I've seen you use that.
You've seen me use it once. It was cool.
Well, one thing I do know for sure. Her death was caused by Bloom.
Yeah.
Do you know if it was before or after we fought?
I don't know. And I would like to know. And when I mentioned the temple, she seemed as it was familiar to her. Which
Have you ever seen her before?
I was just about to ask Morgan. There's a lot of children and people that go in and out of that temple. Thinking back, this is probably going to be ridiculously high. Does she look familiar to Dro?
Yeah, go ahead and give me a history on that.
That's a 13.
No.
A lot of people were in and out of that temple. Many faces. She could have been, she may not have been. But I would like her to meet Randar. Maybe he's better with children, and to all of that, maybe he would recognize her.
Do either of you have an inkling of a clue who the pink-haired woman is who just ran up, yelled something, and then just walked away?
No.
No.
Well, I hope this means that we've accidentally made a lot more new allies, as opposed to just random people who spring into action and then disappear into the crowds of thousands of refugees. We need more allies.
I mean, she came with us, didn't she?
Well,
She
to the
wasn't on that
medical
ship.
facility. For now. Can I roll an insight to, or perhaps history or whatever, to try and recall if I saw her on the ship?
Haru?
Yes, Haru.
Yes, you did. You took stock of like everybody who had kind of been there originally, and she was one of the people that was on the ship. We saw her a couple times, but she was very subdued and like kept to herself quite a bit.
Would Dro
Was
clock
there-
her the one time he went back there? Well, it would have been twice, actually. And Warden asked him to go find guards. And then when Dro went and watched Yaslin somehow, medical expert, 10 to wins.
Her medical needs were very, very low, so Yaslin didn't actually work on her.
Okay. She's stuck more hidden out of the way.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well, she was at least on the ship, so perhaps that was just payment for safe travel.
That's a hell of a payment.
Yes, I don't really know who it was to because I don't think it really benefited any of us, but yes, thanks.
You could ask where she is.
Let's say, did anybody actually see where she wandered off to?
Is there any like staff in here?
Yeah, it's easy,
Yeah,
it's
I'm
easy enough
looking
to
for a
find someone.
therapist. You happen to see a pink-haired lady.
Dro, knowing how well that explanation is going to be, is going to cast minor illusion in his hand to show the woman behind Yaslin to make it think that her description was well.
Yaslin's so descriptive. She does amazing at these social interaction things.
Nice. Yes. She's one of the patients. She's in a room a few doors down, not too far away. It helps a little bit with the organization of things if we keep everybody, relatively close by as they come off different ships. Do you require her presence?
Do we require her presence, guys?
Dro just
turns it
drops the
back.
illusion. If that's possible.
I will see what can be done. I will request her. And then, yeah, Haru, you get this guy coming in and, asking if, do you want to meet up?
What? What? Do I
There's
want
some-
to?
There's some people who want to speak with you.
Who?
Some of the ones that were on the same ship with you, it sounds like.
A bug, or a horned lady, or
That one, the horned
the
lady.
dark one.
The last two. They wish to speak with you if you are interested. Honestly, I don't care. I just work here.
Okay, I will.
Sir, this is a Wendy's.
I will be. She gets her checkup and they give her a pretty clean bill, right?
As far as they can tell, yeah.
Nice. Okay. She's like, okay. The door opens. There she is. She looks left and right, sees you guys, and comes over. She's also short. She's 5'2".
Who wins the short battle, Margot or
That's what I was
or
Haru.
or Haru?
Margot was 5 foot.
Yes, tall. 2 inches. 2 inches.
That Margot was tiny, wasn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Haru strikes for a very unimposing figure by all means.
Yeah, the pink hair does not strike fear into my heart, especially at 5'2".
5'2". He's very stunning and exotic looking.
I think, at least to start this conversation off, thanks for taking care of all that out on the ship.
Seemed someone had to.
Yes, as I was just telling them, we're not very magical people, so we really appreciate you seeing a situation, jumping in, and helping out.
You're welcome.
To be fair, there was an attempt made to handle that.
I saw.
Yes, but it was just that, an attempt.
Just
no, you
turns
came
and
in-
looks at Warden.
Warden here is trying to be as nice as possible to not scare off this quiet person, and quiet people are flighty, so...
You asked for me.
Warden looks at Yaslin.
Yaslin's like, you really need a time?
Let's start this conversation off with the introductions. I am Dro. This is Warden, and this is Yaslin. And you are?
Oh. Haru. I forgot to say my name.
Haru. Okay. You were on the ship, Warden. Like making a point that it's his ship. Warden's ship.
Yes.
So I take it you were in Aurora's Rest.
Yes.
Were you from there?
No. I was visiting.
Visiting.
Mm-hmm.
That could mean a lot of things in Aurora's Rest. Do you care to share what your visiting entailed?
Short stay. Some respite. And then on to the next town.
So you're a traveler.
Yes.
Does Haru have any visible instruments? I know they would have seen her use her lute, but is there any?
On her, yeah, there's a lute strapped to her back.
Joe will kind of make it a point to look at it. Well, you picked a great city for music.
Really? She looks kind of surprised about that statement. Probably because she didn't explore that much.
I take it you didn't make your way into the music district at all?
No, I was only there a couple days before fire everywhere.
Yeah. Well, it was a sightless alright.
Did you lose anything in the fire?
Me? No.
That's good.
Oh, you've already been examined though, haven't you? Can I make a perception check to see if there's something like she's taken damage from any fights, any scuffles that could immediately be treated, like scars or something?
Yeah, give me a perception. Or give me a medicine, rather.
22.
22. I mean, nothing that's not already been done. I mean, the triage from the ship, and then there's a lot of heavy wounds that people are receiving treatment for, but they also do have like a couple of teams that are just going around and addressing light stuff rapidly. So she has a like a splint, like a gentle splint on her ankle, and she's got like kind of in her hair, like you see she's kind of got like basically like a bit of a goose egg that you can't really it doesn't require like a band-aid for a goose egg underneath the hair.
Right. Kind of quickly glancing to see what injury she has, and you seem capable. Or were you one of the lucky ones that managed to avoid a lot of the creatures?
Lucky and capable both.
Does she have any visible weapons on her?
Nope.
Okay. Kind of looks at Yasin and Warden like, what?
Yeah, Yaslin's like Yaslin. She's literally Marshall. Marshall is her name. Yaslin is also horrible with people and looks so confused.
Be honest, that's kind of confusing to me, but what do you intend to do now?
I'm not sure yet, but I was hoping to find people who are capable.
Well, we're certainly a capable group, if I do say so. Looks at the buff woman next to him and the not buff man next to him. If I remember right, you've got like a -1 to strength.
Yes.
Dro, I think it's noticeable too. When they say capable, Dro won't look you in the eyes.
Did
Just-
you not survive that fight? That fiery pit?
Not all of us. We were only able to escape because of a sacrifice that was made.
Not only us, but so many other people who were able to escape from that one sacrifice.
I am sorry for your loss.
Yeah. Dro will visibly try to snap himself out of it and act fine. You said you were looking for people. Ironically enough, we are looking for allies as well. And if you say you're as capable as you say you are, we'd be more than happy at least to see that for ourselves. We ran into another individual, more of a magic user. Ironically, an important figure from Aurora's Rest. That seems reliable. Well, the three of us lack in magic capability for the most part. I know Warden can do a little bit, I can do a little bit, and then he'll kind of turn and look at Yaslin.
I can do a not a bit.
Yeah. She can hit things very hard, though. At least I don't want to speak for the others, but you're more than welcome to join. And he'll kind of look to the others to see their opinions on it.
I don't see why not. We could use more people, honestly, if we're going to fight back against fire.
Yeah, we should probably make that clear as we plan to fight back.
How?
We'll shoot them and close their portals.
Okay. Do you know how?
Shoot them or close their
To-
portals?
To both.
He has the
Both.
first
Both
one
is
down,
good.
for sure.
Okay. And to
I can shoot them just fine. But when it comes to closing the portals, believe that we do have a concept, an idea of how to close them, but we need people who are a little bit more magically inclined to help.
okay.
The sacrifice that we spoke about, she knew how to close it. And hopefully that knowledge spreads and we can fight back against fire. There's a lot more to it that probably discussion should not be in the public.
Yeah, now that that's brought up, looking around, like, is anybody actually listening into our conversation?
Dro's been like hearing. He's not been looking around, but he's been listening to see if there's any movement outside doors or.
Give me a perception. I'll let you go. With that, I'll let you do passive perception.
Haru's passive perception is a 21.
Also a 21.
Yes, because she is a very anxious, nervous being.
Okay, gotcha. Haru, as your conversation goes on, you do hear maybe 3 different doors where they were shuffling inside, and then like somebody went up to the door and then stopped moving. And you hear down the hallway like somebody, maybe like a medical attendant, like walked by and then like kind of walked back and like hid behind the corner. People are eavesdropping. Just don't know. Oh, well, and you also have a passive inside of 21. The way that people are listening in is amateur. They don't. With the 21, you're not picking up a lot of hostile. You're picking up a lot of like scared and desperate, and people are just latching onto whatever they can.
Which is probably why she's still talking, because they don't pick up on her radar as a threat, really.
Mm-hmm.
There are some people listening, but bad at hiding.
She says that Dro stealthily and quietly is gonna walk to the door and just stand in front for a minute. As the conversation continues, like nothing, acting like nothing's happening. As a few seconds go by, Dro is just gonna open the door and see who's there.
So Haru heard people like in their own medical room, like listening in, like ear to their
Oh,
door sort of
okay.
style.
Oh, okay. Joe will just
No.
stand in front of that door then.
Ah! How
What is that?
dare!
And there's somebody who's like has been like pushing a cart the whole time. It's like, oh, jeez,
Sorry.
there's enough going on.
Close the door.
No need for that.
Just look at Haru.
What?
You said they were listening.
They were.
Just turns and looks at the door. Looks at the group. Anyways. I think, like I said, I'll walk closer so he can talk quieter, but where the group can still hear. A longer conversation is probably needed, just not here. Plus, I think they mentioned some sort of trial that we have to go through.
I'm really looking forward to it. Why do you sound so, like, unenthusiastic, Tro?
Because the last time we were in a trial, Randar kicked all of our asses.
Your ass. Just. Okay, sorry.
I got literally knocked into next week.
Yeah, I saw.
I was fine. I got hit a couple times. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I don't know where you were. I mean, fair. I don't think we really signed you up to be beat up, but.
You said it was going to be a skirmish, not an ass whooping. But, anyways.
We all thought that. Looks at Drow.
Might I ask a question to you all?
Go for it.
How was your stay on the Desperate Gale? You see, I try to make it as nice and lovely as I possibly can for everyone. For everyone.
Warden, take inspiration for suddenly going into like hospitality mode.
A fucking survey. Oh my god.
Dro's just attention starts looking elsewhere in the room.
I try my best to make it a comfortable and wonderful experience. Unfortunately, there was a lot of dying and or dead and or bloody people, and probably a lot of screaming children and or maimed adults. And so I must say my ship is not normally like that. But Haru, how did you enjoy?
Haru looks at you. I'm sorry. I don't understand.
Which part don't you understand?
You were very fast.
Oh, I see. So, the ship that you just spent the past few days traveling upon is my ship. It belongs to me, and I do my best to make sure that the travel is wonderful and nice for all persons. Did you enjoy your travel?
It was nice, yes.
Oh,
Very
good. Warden is going to go ahead and turn to Dro and Yaslin and go, now I need to ask about 29 more people that question.
Are you for real, Warden?
No.
Why did you didn't? You know what we could do? What you should do is like have like a little paper survey handout that you give people. Like rate my ship at 1 out of 10 or whatever.
Warden thinks about it, and you can see the antennae shift a little bit, and he goes, you know, there's a noticeable lack of paper on my ship. We've got a couple books on bookshelves, but we don't keep just like sheets of paper lying around.
Why not?
Honestly, besides taking inventory for our cargo, there's really no reason for it. But that's actually a brilliant idea. Perhaps I can talk with Cressida and see if she'd be willing to add a couple bundles of paper and pens to the mix of food and drink.
That sounds like a good idea. Where is she, by the way?
She went to look for her wife.
Do you think we should like maybe find
That
Conversation coming.
would probably not be a bad idea. But I have a feeling we don't want to go too far because they did say they wanted to debrief us. And there's something about this city that screams you should probably listen to what they tell you to do.
I'm at a disadvantage.
It's not entirely how the city works from my understanding last time. There's a little bit of honorable rule breaking here and there. But yes, the government can be. The government can. We'll just leave it at that.
What do you mean? Could you explain a little more? Like,
Oh, we'll come across it in due time. It's nothing to worry
Oh.
about. Just,
insight.
you know,
Na-
Insight check that
now-
there's nothing to worry about.
Now you're worried about that?
Listen,
I had to get people out of the burning city. This was the closest place with
No,
advanced
Joe's
science.
looking at Yaslin now that she's showing
Oh.
concern to the government. Like, really? You of all people.
Listen, I mean, governments can be shady sometimes, okay?
Didn't Margot work? You know what? Never mind.
Yeah,
Do we
Point
have,
in case Margot?
besides knowing that she's running off to find her wife, do we have any other idea? Should we go ask guards? And Haru, would you care to come? Haru, would you care to come meet this new person? Warden says, interrupting himself, intentionally making it slower.
Joe just gives you squint eyes like, what are you doing?
Warden's being like unintentionally racist.
Yes,
Do you
Exactly.
speak common?
yes, I speak common. I can follow. I will follow you.
We are
Mystery dice.
looking for a high elven, let me rephrase this, a half high elven and drow woman.
What? That made no sense.
It's not a normal combination, you see. To be fair, I don't tend to see elves, so.
Joe just points to his ears.
Well, of course, you, like, duh.
So I understand this. They're a half elf, or they're a full elf with drow mixed in.
So,
Well,
look at me,
Okay.
because I am not full-blooded elf.
Mhm.
I am half drow. So,
Okay.
this plus he tries to look for another elf somewhere, which imagining there's probably not one. Then
Not
think
in the small room.
me with and points at Yaslin. Her skin.
Why are you pointing towards? You know, it's okay.
Warden is going to take a drink.
Joe's gonna look. I was wondering when that was gonna happen.
Does this person have a name?
No one asked, even though she was mentioned several times.
You know.
Nobody asked for a name.
You know.
You guys are so bad at this whole.
Last
You were
time.
the first one to hear it, Yaslin!
Last time she talked, she went very fast, and I blame her. She forgot to tell us.
In the old like Japanese trope, Cressida, like you're wandering the halls looking for your wife and you sneeze like shoo, like like I wonder if somebody's talking about me. Cressida,
burning.
with a 16 on ready to go, do you stay in your room? Do you take your medical treatment, or are you just going around trying to find her?
She's just looking
Okay, got it.
around trying to
you-
find her, or anyone from the Athenium that might be able to tell her what happened to her wife.
Okay. With a 16, you are not able to find your wife. You don't hear any clues about her. She isn't like. You ask maybe like 4 or 5 attendants that seem to be in kind of like similar positions of authority as Ingun, and nobody can tell you whether or not they that your wife is on any of the manifests that have like come in for the people. Several of them point you towards like a section, like a big digital like poster wall, essentially, where you can like put up like, hey, I'm looking for this person, as like a missing persons wall. You're welcome to go and do that as part of it, but you do eventually come across one of the you find 3 people from the Athenium. One of them worked for your wife in her tower. One of them is the owner of another tower, and one of them is like kind of a clerkish person who works for the Athenium in general and not a specific tower. You hear kind of like, you get to one person and they're like, yeah, the Grand Athenium, we know about it. We've got a few people that I have access to so far. Like, which one would you like to go see?
The one that worked for her wife. Because he probably, or she probably knew where her wife was massing her forces during the fight.
Okay, got it. You go and find them, and this person, you've met them a couple of times, enough to be able to recognize the name. And you come into their room and you walk in, and they are being tickled by something. They are heavily battered. They're like full splints. Like, it's like that scene in a movie where you like walk in and the person's like in a full body cast. It's basically that, except they're in some sort of a pod and they are covered in strips that seem to be like made out of some sort of a gel. And the gel is kind of like pulsing gently, like, and you with your intellect, you kind of expect, like, you're not very techy, but it's pretty easy to tell that they're like, it's some sort of like bandage that pumps nutrients into the wounded section of the body. And they are covered in it. And this person, it is a large Goliath, and it's one of the few muscular mages that you've ever met in your life, which is probably why their name stood out. It's a female, and she's got like 3 yellowish golden braids that pull down from her like kind of brown scalp. She's a little less gray than one of the like a typical Goliath. And everybody calls her AG, like, which is short for AG Lari. And give me a quick history check to see if you remember any more details about her.
I remember her entire lineage.
I know
shit.
everything.
I know
Okay.
every detail of this woman's life.
You do recall an impressive amount of things. This is somebody that your wife worked with fairly commonly, and your wife's specialty was in defensive magic. The other side of the coin of abjuration magic that you focus on specifically shields and repellents rather than buffs and debuffs. This is kind of like her number 3, but you've only actually met her a couple of times. This woman was actively focusing on creating something similar to a blade singer, but for shielding instead. So this woman, with her strength, she wields like actual shields that creates like a flow between defensive capabilities and with the physical body and magic. So kind of like a walking magical tank is what this woman was focusing on. And she's kind of like one of the few people that went out into the field to research battlefield abjuration. So she did work with your wife quite frequently. You met her at a couple of galas. Mostly, she's a little bit like shy and reserved, even though she's so large. And she just didn't. Your wife invited her over for supper a few times, and she always like shyly declined.
Crescent is going to enter. Is she conscious?
She looks like she's knocked out at the moment. Like she just hear like kind of a surprisingly gentle snore from somebody so large. Just
AG?
no. Mm,
AG, dear.
oh,
Cressida.
oh, oh, oh. Oh, Cressida. Hello. Hello. My, it's good to see you.
It's good to see you as well.
Ah. She's gonna move her neck and like click something back into place. Like, oh, that's better. Oh, I can. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm sorry. What do you remember?
She kind of smiles for a moment. I think I finally got it to work. Oh,
That's marvelous.
terrible. Terrible need and timing for it to work, though. That was awful. Truly awful.
Were you with Elena?
For a bit. Near the beginning. She had me help her deploy the defensive arrays around the most precious sections of our tower and the ones that we could get our hands on that weren't destroyed already. When she felt like they were strong enough, she sent me to go save more people. She told me I tried to refuse, but you know how she is. And she told me my specific abilities were better put to use as a moving wall for those who needed more protection than what they could bear themselves.
She was right. Of course. She's missing.
No. No.
I mean, this is only one city. There's probably many others that people evacuated to. I just haven't found her yet.
What can I do?
keep your ears open. If you hear from her, let me know. Or if you hear about what happened.
I would. What I can tell you is the last I saw her, she was going into her sanctuary. And I'm sure you know, but it's not the type that um, protects you from the outside. It's more like you protecting the outside from within. Kind of. I'm not sure if you ever saw it in action, but it's the seat of her power. She's most effective in there.
Well, our towers were tethered, so I know there's a way to summon it. I just need to study. It'll take me time, but perhaps I can summon the towers. She might be sealed within.
Could be. I hope she got out. I hope she bled that tower dry to save as many as she could, and then she got out herself.
Me too.
She weakly reaches her hand around the blockade of the pod, and reaches over and squeezes your hand.
Is there anything I can do to help you? Aurora's rest is gone. You'll need something to get you started. Till we find her.
What I can do, it's selfish not to take you up on that. I need a new shield. Fucking snake. With fangs of hot metal bit right to it. That would help. I mean, as soon as I can get back above my feet, which I assume is not going to be
Well,
as fast as I would like.
here. And she's gonna go into her bag and pull out 1,000 gold.
Oh.
When the time comes, you can get the best shield you ever dreamt of.
That's...
It's not quite enough for something heavily imbued with magic or far fancier, but it'll get you started.
That's... damn. You, even in ruin. You're still well off, aren't you? Thanks. The base materials are the most important. With that much, I can find good materials. And I'll improve it myself. I'm no stranger in the forge.
For now, though, you need to rest. Heal, recover, and stay in touch.
Yeah. I'll send you a message if I ever hear anything.
Same.
And, if you do hear of anybody going out, just can we keep tabs with each other? Just to update the... She looks sick for a moment. update
Of course.
the list of those that we don't need to keep looking for.
Yes.
Good. Good. It's wonderful to see you, Cressida.
You as well. You need your sleep, though.
Yes. I'll see you again.
I'll let you know what I hear.
What's your insight?
Passive is, I think, 16?
16.
16, yeah.
She says it as a hope. And so she says it as a statement, and it is tinged with hope. Okay. Got a couple of other spots that you could check if you would like with those other two members. Or you can kind of go back to your room, see if you can find the others if you would like.
There's one member of the Athenium, right? Like one of the high mages?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk to him. Her.
Okay. Okay, you go and find him, and like he's supposed to be in one of his rooms, or in this one particular room. And as you walk up to it, you hear clanks and clanks, like all sorts of like random noise. And like, yeah, that checks out. Give me a history check on this guy. His name is Gyro.
God, fuck. That is like the 10th 3 I've rolled tonight. Roll our threes.
You don't know this guy very well. You just know his reputation. And you've met him a handful of times at like meetings that include like all the members of the 24. This dude is the guy who had the massive giant construct on top of his tower. This is that guy. His focus.
The one that was the kaiju fight.
Yeah, he was the one that launched the counterattack on the kaiju fight. It was half of his tower that he gave up to be in that fight. So he focuses on constructs, and like you walk in, and from behind the medical bed, which is like partially disassembled and like crooked and like hanging over, you see like a very like straight up mohawk at the beginning, and then like the ends are like completely frizzled, and it's like blue with like almost like a deep blue in the center, electric blue on the edges, and then like white on the tips. And you hear him from the other side. Thought you people were supposed to be on advanced side. Where's all the good stuff? It's just like you see him like actively like ripping medical equipment apart.
Gyro, dear. I
That-
don't think you're supposed to do that.
Dear, nothing. Not a deer. Who would call me a deer? Oh, it's you. It's I forgot.
Come now.
Passiville. Hello, Passiville. How are you?
I have been
Everything's
on the Athenium for 25 years.
this fits with this guy. Like his social retention is god awful.
That was in character.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. 25 years. I don't know, almost as long as I have. Yes,
Cressida.
Cressida. Yes. He's kind of looking,
my
and
questions may be lost on you.
he slowly starts like turning his attention, like messing with something while like barely keeping eye contact.
Have you heard of it from any of the others? Any of the other 24?
Ah. Yes.
Who?
The Conjurist, and he's referring to one of the members who focuses like each one of the schools of magic have their representation inside of the Athenium, or rather had. But there were also uh, others on top of that, because there's only, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 schools overall, I think. Maybe I miscounted. Nope, there's 8 schools overall. And then so to get to the 24, there's other specialties. So she's referring to, or he's referring to the conjuration school has different things, like conjuring like a fire and ice balls, like objects of destruction. And then there's also like summoning creatures and like summoning constructs and other things like that. He's referring to um, the her, and he says the conjurist, the feline, and the grandmaster are gone, dead.
Oh. Have you heard of
Such minds lost. And you know that his reference to the Grandmaster is Duroc.
Have you heard anything of the other Abjurist? My wife, Elena?
You married? Wait, you two are a couple?
Oh.
Oh,
Been for 75 years. Actually closer to 125 now.
Oof.
And he kind of, in a rare moment of like solemnity and like actually like paying attention, he gets up and like turns around, and you notice like his arm and like part of his torso are gone, and it looks like he's rebuilding. It looks like he's building his own prosthetic limb. He's in the process of doing it, and this is a new wound. Tell you what I know. I was one of the last ones out. Controlling that mech that I unleashed. That was cool. Finally got to use it for real. It takes everything I've got to pay attention. I use it as long as it can function. Then I gotta. I don't think I killed that thing though. 5 more minutes and I would have killed it. I know I wasn't the last time. Because her tower was still active. Cressida, give me both a history check and an arcana check. History check, going back through the details of what your wife has shared with you over the years. Give me an arcana check to understand the specifics of what she was trying to do.
"17 and 23.
You have heard your wife joke over the years that her tower would be, if the world was deleted, or if the world was suddenly vanished, her tower would be one of the last few places on the planet that existed. As you start to hear these reports over and over and over, and you understand what she was doing, she was trying to pursue permanent defense. Powerful shields that never lost. You compare that to your own trajectory of research and study. She was always a little bit further ahead comparatively than you were. She might have done it, or at least got a functional prototype. You two didn't always share all the details between your work, but it was kind of unexpected sort of deal. With what you've heard so far, you are starting to think she might still be in there. You don't know why.
She's going to pat Gyro on the shoulder, his good shoulder, and cast Enhance Ability on him for dexterity checks. So he has advantage using his tinkering tools to build a new arm, which Dro would feel his own charismatic enhancement drop at that point. Thank you. I'll be in touch if there's any words on Aurora's rest.
Understood. Likewise.
And she's gonna...
I'm sorry for her disappearance. She did good. She did very, very good.
She did. And they're only missing until we know for sure.
Right.
And she's gonna go look for the rest of the group because she doesn't really have anybody else to turn to.
Okay. Okay. You guys finish up your stints of respite over the next couple of days. You are fully restored. They do have decently advanced healing technology. Yaslin, you're like, it's okay.
Better. I've seen better.
Exactly. And we will pick up next time with them coming to get you. And like,
Arena 5.
we
Sorry.
England comes back and we still need to debrief you. But I think people will take you more seriously if you do the challenge first. So, what do you say?
Yaslin, it's pretty clear what Yaslin's vote is.
He sees her smirk and like doesn't even really ask the rest of the group. Just
Joe's just gonna
Right,
look
this-
at him. I'm not arguing with her.
that would be unwise.
Honestly, it's not too difficult. I think you two would excel at it.
Really?
You, Big Blue, get to be with me in the box this time.
Yes.
Can I roll insight
very
to see if he's
excited.
bullshitting us?
Wait a damn minute! What do you mean you're? Are you
Okay.
going to give us like a hint at least at what we're going to face, or is just we're going in blind?
Don't die.
Good luck. As the two of them like veer off into another hallway.
Wait!
and, like, you
I
guys are
still
continu-
have my question.
Okay, and that is where we will wrap it up today, and we'll end on time so Kiki can get some precious sleep.